Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. This time, we're going to be taking a look at Path Robotics.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And they are a company that's using AI to teach robots how to weld.
Interesting.
You know, right? Pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cutting edge.
Definitely. And, you know, you've always been interested in how AI is changing things up.
Absolutely.
So I figured you would be the perfect person to bring on for this deep dive.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following Path Robotics for a little while now, and
Well, have you?
yeah, they're doing some really interesting things. I'm excited to dig into this.
I'm excited to hear your perspective on this, because I got to say, going through all the research,
Yeah.
Path Robotics is doing some seriously impressive stuff. They're not just building robots, you know?
Right.
Like, they're building robots that can learn and adapt.
It's mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is.
Welding is a skill that takes humans years to master, right?
Yeah, years.
Yeah, and they're trying to get robots to do it.
Exactly. Like, that's not an easy thing to just program.
No.
And the fact that they've raised over $280 million in funding,
Right. I mean,
that really caught my eye.
that's a lot of money.
It's not just like, you know, from any small little VCs either.
Yeah.
We're talking about like some big names from the manufacturing world in the mix too.
Yeah, that tells you something, right?
Yeah. That tells me that some major players were already taking them pretty seriously.
Absolutely. I mean, the presence of those strategic investors suggests that Path Robotics isn't just a cool tech demo.
Right.
This is something that could actually be implemented on factory floors very soon.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So let's kind of get into how this all works.
Yeah.
So they were founded back in 2018 by two brothers,
Oh, wow.
Andy and Alex Lonsberry, out of their dorm room at Case Western Reserve University.
Okay.
And now they're headquartered in Columbus, Ohio,
Okay.
with a pretty audacious goal, to be honest,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is disrupt the massive, very old school welding industry. So how are they actually doing that?
Well, you know, everyone always says AI is the secret sauce, right?
Right.
But it's not just any AI.
Yeah.
What they're doing is using a combination of 3D scanning and computer vision
Okay.
to give their robots the ability to see what they're welding in real time.
Hmm.
So imagine, like, the robot takes a 3D X-ray of the part it's about to weld,
Right.
and it constantly updates that X-ray as it's working.
So it's like the robot is building like a 3D model of the part in its mind.
Exactly.
That's going.
Yes. And this means that the robot can handle imperfections and variations in the parts
Okay.
that a human welder would just have to deal with manually.
Gotcha.
But that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
The really cool part is the machine learning aspect.
Yeah.
Every weld that the robot does feeds data back into the system,
Okay.
and that data makes the AI smarter and more efficient.
So the more these robots weld, the better they get at it.
Yes. It's like having an apprentice welder that gets exponentially better with each weld instead of gradually over years, right?
Right.
And this learning process is key to how they differentiate themselves
Yeah.
from traditional industrial robots.
So we've got robots with eyes and brains now.
Exactly.
But how much does a human have to actually do?
Right.
Like, is there a lot of programming involved?
Well, that's actually one of the biggest selling points.
Okay.
Path Robotics has designed their system for end-to-end autonomy.
Wow.
The AI handles everything, identifying the part, planning the weld path,
Okay.
adjusting for any variations, and then executing the weld perfectly.
So you don't need a team of programmers to set it up.
Nope. It's more like plug-and-play automation.
That's wild. So is that why investors are throwing so much money at them?
Well,
I mean, $280 million is nothing to sneeze at.
it's a big chunk of change.
It is a big chunk of change. What's their strategy here?
So that $280 million isn't just about building robots.
Right.
It's about their big vision.
Okay.
They want to change how all manufacturing works. It's a bold move. Yeah.
But they're clearly thinking long term.
Yeah.
And a big part of that strategy is how they're offering their technology.
Okay.
They're using something called a robotics as a service, or ROS model.
Okay, ROS. What does
Yeah.
that actually mean?
So instead of forcing manufacturers to make a huge upfront investment in expensive robots,
Yeah.
Path Robotics allows them to essentially subscribe to their welding capabilities.
So it's like a subscription service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like paying a monthly fee to have a robot welding expert on call 24/7.
That makes a lot of sense, especially for smaller companies
Right.
that maybe don't have the budget for like a massive automation overhaul.
Yeah.
This makes this kind of technology much more accessible.
It does, and it could help accelerate the adoption of AI and manufacturing as a whole.
Right.
But let's be real, it's not all sunshine and roses.
Right.
There are other big players in the robotics world.
Sure.
Companies like FAUC and ABB
Yeah.
that have been doing this for decades.
Yeah, how can a company like Path Robotics
Really compete with those titans.
Well, that's where the AI-powered adaptability comes in.
Okay.
Those legacy robots are great for high-volume production runs
Yeah.
where you're making thousands of the same part.
Gotcha.
But the moment you need flexibility,
Okay.
maybe you're making a lot of different types of parts.
Okay.
What manufacturers call high-mix production.
My mix.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just about the number of parts, but the variety.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's a major pain point for a lot of manufacturers
I'll bet.
who need to be able to adapt quickly to changing customer demand.
So that's where Path has an edge.
This is where Path Robotics has a real edge because their robots aren't limited by pre-programmed paths.
Gotcha.
They can adjust to different parts on the fly.
I see.
And that makes them incredibly valuable in today's very dynamic manufacturing environment.
So as an investor, this is like a key differentiator for you.
Absolutely. Path isn't just selling robots, they're selling flexibility. And that opens up markets that those older, less adaptable robots simply can't touch.
But even with that, they're not the only ones in the game.
Right.
What about other welding robot startups?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's where we start to see the true potential of their approach.
Okay.
While there are other startups trying to bring AI into welding,
Yeah.
Path Robotics has gone all in on integrating AI into every aspect of the process.
Wow.
From vision and adaptation to that constant learning loop.
Right.
Their robots are designed to get smarter and more efficient over time. And that's a huge advantage, especially as they look to expand beyond just welding.
Hold on. Expand beyond welding.
Yeah.
Where could they possibly go from here?
That's what makes Path Robotics so fascinating.
Okay.
They see their AI platform as a foundation for automating all sorts of tasks on the factory floor.
Okay.
Think about things like assembly, painting, even quality control.
Right.
They're already hinting at plans to move beyond welding and tackle those areas too.
So it's not just about robots that can weld. They want to automate the entire factory.
That's the big vision.
And that's a pretty ambitious vision.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And to really understand why investors are so excited about Path Robotics,
Yeah.
we need to look at the big picture, the reshoring trends.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've definitely been hearing more about that.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Path Robotics?
So one of the biggest obstacles to reshoring has been the cost of labor. But with advancements in automation, like what Path Robotics is doing, the equation is starting to shift.
Right.
If companies can automate more of their production processes,
Right.
the cost of labor becomes less of a deciding factor.
So you're saying that robots could actually help bring jobs back to the U.S.?
That's the idea.
That seems counterintuitive.
It does, but think about it this way. If a U.S. company can produce goods more efficiently and cost-effectively using robots,
Right.
they have less incentive to move those jobs overseas. And that could lead to a resurgence in domestic manufacturing.
So their technology could actually help bring manufacturing jobs back to the U.S.
It's a possibility, and it's one of the reasons why Path Robotics is generating so much buzz.
Yeah.
They're not just building robots,
Right.
They're potentially reshaping the global manufacturing landscape.
Okay, so we've got groundbreaking technology, a unique business model,
Yeah.
a massive potential market.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like Path Robotics is unstoppable.
Well,
But I'm sure there are some challenges they have to overcome, right?
of course. Even with all the hype, they're not immune to the realities of the business world.
Sure.
One of the biggest risks they face is competition. As they continue to gain traction, other companies are going to try to copy their approach.
Yeah.
They need to stay ahead of the curve if they want to maintain their advantage.
So it's like a tech arms race.
It is. Whoever innovates the fastest wins.
Right.
And that's just one of the challenges they face. Another risk is the cyclical nature of the manufacturing industry itself. Economic downturns can really hit capital spending, which could impact their growth.
Right. Even with amazing technology, they're still at the mercy of broader economic forces.
Exactly. And finally, there's the big question mark hanging over any AI-powered company. What if the AI isn't perfect?
Yeah.
If their systems make mistakes, it could have real consequences.
That makes sense. They're betting the farm on AI.
They are.
It needs to deliver, and it needs to deliver flawlessly.
Absolutely. Continuous improvement and rigorous testing are essential for a company like Path Robotics.
Yeah.
They need to build trust and confidence in their technology if they want to achieve their ambitious goals.
This is all incredibly interesting, but after hearing about all this,
Yeah.
there's one thing I'm still wondering about.
Okay.
What stood out to you as the most significant takeaway from all this? What was your aha moment?
For me, it's the sheer audacity of their vision.
Mm.
They're not just trying to make a slightly better welding robot.
Yeah.
They're trying to completely revolutionize how manufacturing works.
Mm.
It's bold, it's risky,
Yeah.
but it's also incredibly inspiring.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to challenge the status quo and push the boundaries of what's possible.
I completely agree.
They're really pushing the limits.
Yeah, they are. It really does make you wonder,
Yeah.
will we see a future where AI is as commonplace in factories as forklifts?
It's an interesting thought, isn't it?
It is. It is. But let's bring things back down to earth for a second here.
Okay.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the potential,
Yeah.
but I'm curious about the practical side of things.
Okay.
They had these two robots, the ADW3 and the AF1.
Yeah.
What are the key differences between them?
So think of them as siblings, right?
Okay.
With different personalities and talents.
Okay.
The AAW3 is like the older brother, more powerful.
Gotcha.
It's built for heavy-duty industrial applications.
Okay.
The large-scale welding jobs, lots of precision and power.
So if you're building a bridge or a skyscraper, you want the AW3.
Exactly. That's the one you want for those massive, complex projects.
Gotcha.
The AF1, on the other hand, is more compact,
Okay.
agile, perfect for high-mix production runs we talked about.
Right, right.
So a variety of parts, welding tasks.
So the AF1's like the multi-tool of welding robots.
Yeah, you could say that.
Can it really adapt to that many different jobs? Like, without reprogramming?
That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
Remember the AI-powered vision system. It allows the AF1 to scan, analyze each part,
Okay.
figure out the best welding path, execute it flawlessly. But what's even cooler,
Okay.
the AF1 is designed to do more than just weld.
What?
It can pick up and place parts, too.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
It grabs a part, moves it, welds it, then puts it down.
Yep. Pretty impressive, huh?
Incredible. I'm starting to think these robots are going to put me out of a job.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but
True, true.
you're right. The level of autonomy is remarkable and a key part of their vision for manufacturing's future.
Okay, I have to ask about this RAS model.
Yeah.
It sounds great in theory, but what's the catch?
It's a good question.
It's got to be some downside for manufacturers.
It does come with some potential challenges.
Okay.
Manufacturers are relying on path for a crucial part of production.
Right.
So they need to trust the tech will work perfectly.
Yeah.
That path will support them.
What happens if there's a glitch, the system goes down?
That's a risk manufacturers have to weigh, right?
Right.
Do the benefits, flexibility, lower cost, the tech outweigh the downsides?
So it's a bit of a gamble?
It is, but so is any new technology, really.
True. True, that's fair.
But what's interesting is Path seems to understand these concerns.
Okay.
They've focused on a robust, reliable platform,
Okay.
working closely with customers to fix any issues.
So they're taking a very hands-on approach.
They are, which makes sense to build trust.
Right, right.
And it's paying off. They have partnerships with major manufacturers already.
So it's not just a cool idea.
Nope. It's gaining real-world traction.
Interesting.
That's what makes Path so interesting to follow. They're not just building tech.
Oh, yeah.
They're pioneering new models, challenging old ways of thinking.
I see why you called them trailblazers earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just pushing tech boundaries, they're pushing the industries.
They are, and that makes their journey so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're not just watching a company evolve.
Right.
We might be seeing the start of a much bigger shift in how things are made.
Okay, you've sold me. I need to buy some stock.
Uh-huh.
But seriously, this is exciting. But stepping back a bit,
Yeah.
you said Path could bring manufacturing jobs back to the U.S.
Right.
Can you talk more about that?
For decades, jobs moved overseas, right? Cheaper labor.
Yeah.
But automation changes things.
Okay.
Companies automate. Labor cost matters less.
Are you saying robots could bring jobs back to the U.S.?
That's the thought.
Seems counterintuitive.
It does, but think about it. A U.S. company produces goods efficiently, cost-effectively, with robots. Less reason to go overseas. That could mean more manufacturing here.
So their tech could actually help bring those jobs back.
It's a possibility, and why Path is generating so much buzz.
Wow, that's a big impact.
It is.
But wouldn't that mean fewer jobs overall? Robots doing the work.
It's a valid concern, a debate that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
It's more complex than that.
Okay.
Automation can displace jobs, but it also creates new ones.
What kind of jobs could robots create in factories?
Well, someone needs to design, build, install these robots.
Okay.
It's a whole new industry growing around automation. And even
Wow.
within manufacturing, you still need skilled people
Yeah.
overseeing the robots, fixing problems, adapting to changes.
So it's not robots versus humans?
It's about how they work together.
Gotcha.
And Path seems to get that
Sure.
they're not replacing humans, they're creating a system.
Yeah.
Robots and humans collaborate for efficiency, productivity.
It's not about eliminating jobs. It's about evolving work.
Exactly, and we see this across industries.
Yeah.
AI, automation get better, future jobs need different skills, new thinking.
Almost like we're at the start of a new industrial revolution
I think you're right.
where AI is leading the way.
Companies like Path are at the forefront,
Yeah.
not just building robots, they're building a future where tech empowers us.
No. Okay, that's pretty inspiring.
It is.
But I'm also a pragmatist. What could go wrong?
Well, over-reliance on AI is a risk.
Okay.
The tech is great, but not perfect.
Sure.
If the systems mess up, it could be bad.
They're betting big on AI.
They are.
It has to work and work well.
Absolutely. Constant improvement, lots of testing. That's key for Path.
Makes sense.
They need to build that trust, confidence in their tech to reach their goals.
It's all so interesting.
Yeah.
But I have one more question.
Okay, shoot.
What was your big takeaway? Your aha moment from all this?
For me, it's how bold their vision is.
Hmm.
They're not just tweaking a welding robot. They want to revolutionize how we manufacture. Yeah.
It's bold, risky,
Yeah.
but inspiring. They're not afraid to push boundaries.
I completely agree. They're going all in on AI, and their success could have like ripple effects.
Yeah.
Far beyond just welding and manufacturing.
Right.
If they can prove that AI can really be integrated safely and effectively
Right.
into these complex processes, it could inspire other industries to embrace AI.
Exactly. I mean, they're pioneers, right?
Yeah.
They're blazing a trail
Yeah.
for a future where AI is just like a normal part of everything we do.
Right. Like it's just woven in.
Yeah. And their journey is going to be fascinating to watch.
I'm with you on that. All right. So to sum things up, Path Robotics is a company on a mission
Yeah.
to transform manufacturing with AI.
Absolutely.
They have the technology, the funding, and the ambition to make it happen.
Their future is bright, but it does raise a really interesting question.
Okay.
Will other industries be as excited about AI as manufacturing seems to be?
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
Or will there be pushback?
Right, will it slow things down?
It's clear that AI has the potential to reshape everything.
It does.
But will we embrace that change or resist it? I guess only time will tell.
One thing is for certain, though,
Okay.
Path Robotics is a company to watch.
Definitely.
Their journey will tell us a lot about the future of AI, automation,
Yeah.
maybe even the future of work itself.
It really makes you wonder, what will the factory of the future actually look like? Will it be filled with robots working alongside people?
Yeah.
Or will it be something totally different? Something we can't even picture yet.
I mean, that's what's so cool about all this.
Yeah.
We're figuring it out as we go.
We are.
Path Robotics is just one example of how AI is changing the game,
It is.
and it's up to us to decide what that game will look like.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited to see what happens next.
Me too, me too.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Path Robotics.
Yeah, this was fun.
If you're as fascinated by their story as we are, keep an eye on them.
Definitely a company to watch.
They're definitely a company to watch.